So let's get right into it. Have you ever really thought about this? Are your talents something you're just born with, or can you actually build them? That's the big question we're tackling today as we dive into Carol Dweck's hugely influential book, Mindset. We're going to break down the core ideas, the good stuff, the limitations, and see how one simple belief can, well, change pretty much everything.
Yeah, this question is really the whole foundation of her work. It kind of forces you to think, right? Are your abilities just fixed, set in stone, or are they more like a muscle you can train and develop with time and effort?
And Dweck's answer to that question is honestly pretty radical. She basically says that success isn't just about raw talent or getting lucky. Nope. She argues it's all about something she calls our mindset.
So, okay, what even is a mindset? It's not just, being in a good mood or a bad mood. It's way deeper than that. It's the core belief you have about your own potential. Like, deep down, do you really believe your intelligence and talents can grow? Or are they just what they are?
Okay, so Dweck breaks this down into two big opposing ideas. First, you've got the fixed mindset. This is the belief that talent is just a static thing. You've either got it or you don't. End of story. But then there's the growth mindset. And this is the idea that your abilities can be developed, through hard work, trying different strategies, and just sticking with it. It's a huge difference, right? One's a dead end, the other is a wide open road.
All right, so how does this actually show up in our day-to-day lives? Because this isn't just some abstract academic theory. Your mindset literally shapes how you handle challenges, how you deal with failure, and even how you react to success.
Let's talk about praise. This is a big one. Dweck's research is fascinating here. It shows that telling someone, wow, you're so smart, can actually backfire. Seriously. It can make them afraid to fail, because what if they mess up? Does that mean they're not smart after all? But if you praise their effort or the strategy they used, you're encouraging them to keep trying and see challenges as a chance to learn, not a test of their innate ability.
And look, this isn't just about school or grades. This idea has huge implications for everything. Think about your relationships. Do you see a conflict as a chance to learn and grow together, or as proof of some permanent flaw in the other person? And at work, are you focused on learning new things and adapting, or just proving the skills you already have? It changes how you parent, how you lead. It's everywhere.
Now, here's a really important thing to remember. This isn't black and white. You're not just fixed or growth all the time. It's totally possible to have a growth mindset about, say, sports, but a really fixed one when it comes to something like public speaking. Dweck makes it super clear that the first, most important step is just noticing where these different mindsets pop up in your own life. Just being aware of it is the key.
Okay, so this idea has been massive, right? It's everywhere. But to really understand it, we've got to look at the whole picture, both the amazing things about it and, some of the real criticisms. On the one hand, the strengths are pretty obvious. It's practical, it feels transformative, and you can apply it to almost anything. But on the other hand, there are some fair criticisms. Some people argue it can oversimplify what it takes to succeed, kind of ignoring things like your environment or the resources you have access to. And maybe the biggest issue is how it gets misinterpreted. It gets boiled down to just praise effort, which is a really watered-down version of the actual idea.
So, when you weigh all that, the pros and the cons, what's the big takeaway here? What's the one thing we should really hold on to from Mindset?
You could probably boil the entire book down to this one powerful idea. It's not the challenge itself, and it's not the failure that defines you. It's how you see it. Is a setback a final verdict on who you are? Or is it just useful feedback for the next time you try?
And what that really means is that your belief about your potential isn't just some random thought floating around in your head. It's more like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It literally guides the actions you take, the risks you're willing to try, and, in the end, the person you become.
So that leaves us with one last thing to think about. A question for you. Think about your own life, your job, your hobbies, your relationships. Where might a fixed mindset be holding you back? Seriously, what could you do? What could you achieve if you started to believe that your abilities in that area aren't carved in stone, but are something you can actually grow?